Hey, so thank you for tuning in. I'm Mr. Toth. I'm going to be teaching your AP World History class in the spring. I want to take a little bit of time and go over our content and go over how the class is taught while you're working on Unit 1 from home over Christmas break. So what we're looking at is, this is what we cover. We're not covering American history, but mostly we cover everything else. And this means we have to cram a lot of information. It's 2 college classes, mind you. So we're cramming a lot of information in a very small amount of time with our block schedule. Our test is on May 8th. And so we realistically have about 80 learning days, 80 instructional days to get you this information. So you need to know the Unit 0, the Foundations of Human Society. That's been in Google Classroom for a while now. And you need to know the beginnings of world religions and general geography of the world. We'll be touching on that throughout the term, but the more you're familiarizing yourself with it now, the easier the semester is going to be. What I expect of you, reading assignments. We're going to be reading a lot more than in a gen ed class. Utilizing 2 texts. The Traditions and Encounters is the text that you needed to pick up from here, from Chavez, and the other one is the AMSCO, World History Modern, 1200 to present. This one is the supplemental text. I give you PDFs of it. The book is available for purchase on Amazon, $20, $25, somewhere around there. The test that you're gonna take in May is directly aligned to the AMSCO text, which is why we're gonna be using it this term. And again, I give you the PDFs every unit and every subtopic is covered. If you don't like to read off the computer, you might have to look into getting the text. I don't have any hard copies to lend you, and I can't print it out for you. That's why it's given digitally. You do have the hard copy of the Traditions and Encounters from the school that we'll be utilizing. There's going to be additional articles, resources, primary sources that we're going to be using to help cover some of this information as well. There's also lecture slides. Each unit has a series of slides. They correlate to the readings that are assigned, so that they kind of work hand in hand. It's not like you can do this and skip this, or do this and skip the reading. You kind of have to do both. We also have unit vocabulary. It gives us a basis of understanding and context, so we do that first. That's the first thing we do. It's the first way we kind of introduce the unit. Participation. Need you in class every day. I don't take a day off. Haven't taken a sick day in all my years teaching. I don't expect you to take a day off either. So be in class, be on time, and let's use all of our time wisely. There are unit projects and unit practice exams, and also AP test tutorials that we're going to go over in a little more detail here in a minute. What you're going to see every unit, like this is Unit 1, the Global Tapestry, you're going to see this. It's an agenda of everything we're going to cover in that unit of study. Some of the units are as short as 4 or 5 class days. Some are 12 to 13 class days. So we move fast and we cover a different topic within this unit every day. Task 1, Task 2, Task 3, Tasks 4, 5, and 6, all of this happens every unit. So you're gonna get used to seeing this format of things that are expected of you and things that you're gonna have to do. It's highlighted if it's homework only, like the vocab is homework only. The task 2 and task 3, the reading packet and unit lecture, is homework plus class review. So the expectation is, and I'll show you in a second, that you do the individual section as homework before coming into class the next day, and we review it as a group to help everybody gain a deeper and better understanding of the individual topics. Task 4, the AP exam it can be very daunting. It's very hard. Presumably this is your first AP class as sophomores. So we have embedded into each unit. Every week, we're gonna spend time teaching you what the test is like and how to take the test and how to succeed at taking the test. So that way it creates a situation where you have, hopefully, less test anxiety going forward. We also have the assessments built into each unit. There's a vocab quiz, so if you took care of your vocab work, vocab quiz is easy. Writing prompts. If you took care of the reading and followed along with the illustrative examples, and you took care of the slides and took care of the graphic organizer that goes along with the slides, writing prompts are easy. And the unit quiz, it'll either be a practice quiz And again, that's just getting you familiar with the different AP testing strategies, or it's going to be a bundled quiz, like Unit 1 and 2 will have a bundled quiz, because that's how the AP exam tests you. I'm not making up any tests that aren't related to the AP exam. Okay, so everything that you're tested on in this class is meant to prepare you for that AP exam in May. Even the testing style and procedure and the questions come from the AP testing question bank. So hopefully it's preparing you as well as we can. Also, if you're worried about your class grade, there's always extra credit. Every unit has an extra credit section, task 6, where there's reading from foundations. That's the text you get from school. And you go through and you read a few chapters at a time and you answer some questions. And now let's get into what that looks like for each individual unit. This is a sample of the vocab list for Unit 1, the Global Tapestry. I think it has 100 different vocabulary terms shown in bold. This is available for everybody, and you get this digitally in a PDF in Google Classroom. Okay, so it has the term, and then it has the definition or explanation of what the vocab term is. And then what you do in your vocab packet, this is on paper, is everybody gets one, and you go through and you take these vocab terms that are just listed in alphabetical order, and now you go through and see how they fit with the developments in Dar al-Islam and the key concepts of it. So not all of these 100 terms here fit the developments in Dar al-Islam. You have to go through and have an understanding of it based on the explanation or definition of the vocab term. You then, in your packet on paper, write down the words itself and the definitions. And that's how we're going to handle vocab. We also have some vocab games that we do before we take the vocabulary quiz. Some of them might be word searches or crossword puzzles. It helps to have a little fun. And again, you're doing this sometimes in class, but most of the time it's homework. And then it'll help you on the vocab quiz. So that was task 1. Task 2, every unit's going to have it, is our homework, and then we review it the next day, but it's the reading packet. And so this is what it looks like. This is 2 separate sheets. It's in a Google Doc on Google Classroom. So this is Unit 1, the Global Tapestry. It has your projects and essays. It has exactly what's going to be covered in this unit. And then you're also taking a look at, it gives you exactly what the homework is. The illustrative examples, what we're looking for is cultural traditions, branches of Buddhism, and technological innovations of the era. There are central questions. There's usually between 2 and 4 per unit, okay? So Unit 1 has a few central questions for this section. So we're looking at topic 1.1. It's the first reading you have. Identify one system of government, explain one effect of cultural tradition on China, and explain the effects of one technological innovation. Pretty simple stuff. First you do the reading, and then you're able to go through and look at these illustrative examples. That's why we're doing it in Google Classroom, so you can get the effect of the nice color examples. And you have an image of it, you have the term, and then you just explain what it means or how it connects, and you answer the questions. And so Unit 1 has 6 subtopics, so you have 6 sets of this that you answer, again, on the Google Doc. And you do a little bit every day, so that way you don't have to do the whole thing at once. When that's done, we come back in class the next day and we review it, okay? And this is what the AMSCO text looks like, the PDF versions that you have. They're literally scanned in, so you have access to the AMSCO text without buying it. And it's real easy. 1.1, I think, is 7 or 8 pages of reading. So it's a section of a chapter every night, not the whole chapter. So that should alleviate some concerns on your workload. I've tried to break it down into sections, so we do a different section every day. It helps us get through the term in a manageable way. Task 3 is our unit lecture. I'm not gonna lecture in class every day. Thank goodness. But what we do is, that sounded weird. What we attempt to do is you have a recorded version of the lecture that's on YouTube, like this is now, where I'm explaining what Unit 1's about, what Unit 2's about, what Unit 3's about, and trying to make connections on the material, okay? They're rather long. You'll have access to that. You also have access to the Google slide deck. And individual notes are optional, like you were doing for Unit 0 in your notebook. They will help you with the exams, they'll help you with your study guides. You don't have to do it. What we have for the unit lecture, which this is Unit 1, the Global Tapestry, we're covering from 1200 to 1450, and developments in East Asia, big picture ideas we're trying to get a grasp of. This is what it looks like. What we're doing is we're going through, you get this graphic organizer as a whole packet for the unit. Okay, so all of Unit 1, the Global Tapestry, you get a packet. And the goal is, as you're going through these slides, you're able to fill in the graphic organizer. There's a different page for each subtopic. Okay, so 1.1 has this page here, and it ends with you trying to explain the ideas, qualities that are unique to each different type of Buddhism that's prevalent in the ancient world. What are its unique qualities and where was it practiced? This is hopefully able to help guide you as you're going through the slides. So you're not sitting here taking notes on every single bullet point. You can, it can only help you. It's never gonna hurt you. We're just not gonna do that in class, okay? The day after you've taken care of this as homework, I go over it and I try to hit the high bullet points and I try to help make those connections. But it really helps if you've already done that day's homework. Okay, so you're going through and doing the work at home, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then when you come into class, we use that time collaboratively to help deepen the understanding of what the concepts are. Okay, that takes us to task 4, the AP test. It can be scary. Understand that, this being your first AP class, potentially ever, and hopefully a gateway into additional AP classes, not just AP US History and AP Gov Econ, but AP English and hopefully like the AP Sciences and Math. The idea is that we build in test-taking tutorials throughout the term. So I'm not gonna cram it in the week before the AP exam in May. I wanna give you that stuff little by little throughout the term so that you're learning how to take the test the way they set it up, while we're learning the information, while we're learning the material. And so there's a particular format for multiple choice questions. It's 40% of the exam score. And so when we take multiple choice tests in this class, we're gonna use their format. That way, everything you've learned content-wise and everything you've learned skill-wise is leading you here. It's gonna help you in the class, but the goal is to really help you here, take the test in May, ace it, get a 4 or a 5, and get those 2 college classes knocked out of the way. So the questions usually appear in sets of 3 or 4 questions. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you some of the actual test questions that were used in 2023 and 2024. So it's kind of cool. Task 5, your assessments for our class. You can note that task 1, 2, and 3, the homework, adds up to 30% of your class grade. You do get a grade in our class. This is 30%. The extra credit's another 10%. So you could really bump your chances there. Assessments and projects count for the other 70%. Okay, assessments count for 35%, projects count for 35%. And that's how we work our class. How your assessments are graded is AP grading style. I'm gonna grade everything exactly how the AP graders and AP readers grade your material. That way you get used to the idea of how to format your open responses, how to format your essay questions going forward. Vocab quiz is going to count towards those assessments. So we did the vocab packet and we had the review games. Now it's leading you towards a vocab quiz. This is actually from your Unit 1 vocabulary quiz. Here's the first 5 questions. Hopefully nobody gets them wrong because you've had access to them now for weeks. Pretty easy matching system. You have 100 vocabulary terms. I'm going to quiz you on 25 of them. You don't know which 25. Obviously here are 5. Oh, here's 5 more. Some of it's multiple choice, some of it's matching. So it's just, there's no surprises here. Anything and everything you're ever tested on in the class is going to be given to you. It's presented to you. You just have to do the work with me. Okay? You also have writing prompts. So we're going to be looking at different methods of writing, different styles of writing. It's not necessarily like MLA formatted, 5-paragraph essay style writing. Sometimes it could be narrative writing, but it's writing from a historical perspective. So typically for the AP exams and for this class, you're going to be given a prompt, some type of primary source, either a passage from a text or a map or a diagram or an image, and you're going to be basing your writing sample on the stimuli, on the sample, okay? And so this is literally your Unit 1 writing prompt. You're going to be tested on this, and you're going to have time in class to do it. We're going to discuss it beforehand, and then we're going to break down going through it. And this is what the question literally is. Identify one claim made in the passage and identify one way in which the ideas expressed in the passage illustrate the social or political development of China under the Song Dynasty. No surprises. That's the passage. There's your writing prompt and questions, and we're going to do it in class. My goal is to be able to teach you how to analyze the passage, annotate if needed, and go through and complete the writing in short order, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Because when you take the AP test in May, that's how much time you're going to have. So we start slowly and give you extra time now, and then we start to wind down that time so you're able to complete the tasks in short order and quicker time. Okay? AP test questions. This is a practice exam, literally our Unit 1 practice exam. The questions, you're going to have 15 questions on that first unit practice exam. It's going to be done through AP Classroom, so make sure you've signed up or otherwise you can't complete the tests. The questions, when you see these connected numbers, okay, it means there's 5 sets of 3 questions. So each time the numbers are connected, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and lastly, 13, 14, and 15, it means those questions are all centered around the same stimuli, the same primary source, okay? So you're going to have 3 questions that refer to the following. And in AP Classroom, we have the way to go through, and it's multiple choice. We're going to begin there with our multiple choice questions, MCQs, and you can mark it for review. You can highlight or annotate on the stimuli on the document itself digitally in AP Classroom, and you answer it. And what we'll do is with these practice exams, we're going to do them as groups. So whoever you choose to sit with in your table grouping, you're going to take the practice exam with them and hope that by doing the work together and doing the readings and doing the collaboration when we have the daily reviews of the content, we start to form like a community of learning and understanding that I don't want 5 kids in the class to pass. I don't want 10 kids. I want all 30 of you to pass the class and the AP exam. So let's literally go through it together. Last task, extra credit. It's extra credit for a reason. Some of us are going to fall behind throughout the semester, okay? Or you want to get ahead now and start banking some of those points, like with the Unit 0 work. You can every unit. Unit 1, the Global Tapestry, is going to have an opportunity in the Foundations book to read chapters 13 and 14 and go through it, okay? So Traditions and Encounters is the book. Chapter 13, very easy. We're covering this period here. It's got simple questions. These are historical terms and concepts, indicate the significance of each term and concept. Definitions are derived from the textbook reading. Please don't Google it. I'm not interested in what an AI answer and amalgamation from Google is. Get it from the text. You're not going to have Google when we take the exam. You're not going to have it in the classroom when we take the practice tests and the real tests, okay? Bullet points are acceptable, or you could write in paragraph form, whatever's best for you. And there's some historical terms and concepts, much like the illustrated examples from the AMSCO text, and then some critical thinking questions. And you go through and there's 1 or 2 per chapter. What was it about, right? What's the significance of the Grand Canal? Compare and contrast the Tang and the Song dynasties. Pretty cool stuff. That's it. Literally, every unit follows the same process. 1 through 6 of our tasks is the same every unit. The content changes, and the biggest change comes when we're looking at task 4. The different strategies we're going to teach, that'll change. We're going to begin with multiple choice questions. It's 40% of your test. We're going to start there and give ourselves a basis of understanding of the skills needed to analyze the documents and answer them quickly and correctly. Then we're going to build it up to the short answer questions, open response questions, long answer questions, free response questions. And we're going to develop those skills and acquire new ones along the way that are going to help us ace the exam, ace this class, and have fun. This is what you're going to see every day. Every student's going to have access to it. This is the other part of the agenda. And this is Unit 1, Section 1, Developments in East Asia. This is what we're going to see Monday, January 6th. This is how we begin class. We've got a short, brief video that's going to help us walk through the content. We're going to do some get-to-know-you activities the first day. But on here, all these hyperlinks take you directly to the information. This is our reading from the AMSCO, the digital PDF, and the illustrative example packet that's meant to be answered on Google Docs. These are the slides that the students are supposed to review before we come to class. So if you do only Unit 1.1 over break, that's great. You get up to slide 24. Hopefully you picked up your review packet with me before break and you're able to work through it through the graphic organizer. Monday, January 6th, there's homework. Unit 1 vocabulary packet, try to work through it a little bit at a time. Read Unit 1.2 on the AMSCO PDF. Answer the questions in the illustrative guideline. That's the digital doc, right, on Google Docs. Take a look at the class lecture, slides 25 through 40, and answer Unit 1.2 in the review packet. It's one page. Go through those 16 slides, and you'll be able to work through it. We will always have extra available resources, the WHAP resources from Freemanpedia and from Heimler's History, just in case you need a little deeper understanding of the material. We've got the embedded video links here and our learning objectives for this day. This changes every day because that's Monday. And then we're going to keep moving on. Tuesday, whole nother day. On Tuesday, it's expected that you did Monday's homework and come to class ready to discuss it. And then you have a new set of homework ready to go. You're always going to have the due date for everything, Tuesday, January 14th. That's the due date for Unit 1. This is the same every day, every unit, same format. All the blue links are hyperlinks to videos or the information that the students need. Embedded videos are meant to help you and serve as review. And then again, we move on. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, still looking the same. Monday, now we're talking about review. AP test tutorials on multiple choice questions. Introduction to the review project. Students are going to get together in groups. We're going to do a massive review project of Unit 1. And then on Tuesday, we're comparing everything within the time period, finishing up that review project, and then I'm going to give you 30 minutes to answer those 15 questions together as a group, and we're going to go over it together as a group when we're done. That's the first unit. So hopefully you've taken time this holiday break. You have 16 days. I need you to work through it a little bit and understand that the more work you do daily, the easier the course is. If you wait until our day of review on Monday to try to cram the whole unit in and read the whole chapter from the AMSCO text and go through all 121 slides and fill in your graphic organizer and fill in your illustrative example packet, that's about 20 pages. If you wait until the last day to do all the work, you're not going to do it. Copying the work from a classmate will not help you take the exams. It's not going to help you during the review process. You need to understand this material. So take the time, an hour, 90 minutes a day, work through it as best you can, use all the additional resources, and engage in class when we have the reviews, because it's going to help you understand if your neighbors understand. And if your neighbors understand, it'll help you understand. And we'll all grow in this class together. So, thanks for watching. Can't wait to see everybody.